There are a lot of famous vehicles in the world nowadays. There have been several vehicles produced throughout history that have astounded people. Some vehicles become famous for their luxury, others for their style, and still others for their speed. But the Lamborghini has it all. The Lamborghini song is well known. But did you know that there would be no Lamborghini without Ferrari? The Lamborghini Miura, the first supercar ever, would not have existed if this had occurred. But no, Ferrari didn't help Lamborghini create a vehicle.
Go back to your tractors, farmer.
The goal of Lamborghini's founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini, was to create a sophisticated grand touring vehicle, or, to put it another way, a better Ferrari. On April 28, 1916, in the Italian province of Ferraras-Renazzo, a hamlet near Cento, Ferruccio Lamborghini was born. His parents ran a vineyard. They desired Ferruccio's involvement in the family company. Even yet, he did not participate in farming as his family did. He was more eager to engage in mechanical endeavors. As a child, Ferruccio's love of engines led to his hiring by the top workshop in Bologna, where he learned all the mechanics' trade secrets. However, in 1940 he was drafted into the Italian Royal Air Force at the start of World War II. He served as a mechanic at the Italian garrison and was stationed on the island of Rhodes. There he became the supervisor of the vehicle maintenance unit. Lamborghini was taken prisoner when the island of Rhodes fell to the British at the end of the war in 1945, and he was not able to return home until the following year. After he returned home, Lamborghini got married. Soon after the Second World War ended, Ferruccio started converting old war surplus materials into much-needed tractors for the local farmers. The Lamborghini tractor business was inaugurated in a small garage, and he founded his first company with just 3 other mechanics and 2,000 lira in initial capital. Ferruccio took the large-scale production of affordable tractors into his own hands. His main client was ARAR, the government-owned company responsible for selling all the excess military equipment left after the war. When he displayed the first of his Carioca tractors on February 3, 1948, Italy went crazy for them. He made the decision to sign up for the famous Mille Miglia. After dropping his refurbished Fiat Topolino, he smashed into the wall of a restaurant and decided to give up racing for good. Ferruccio had never intended to change his line of business from agricultural equipment to supercars, but fate had other plans for him. After becoming extremely wealthy from the tractor company, he opened a new plant to produce central heating and air conditioning equipment. Ferruccio Lamborghini became one of the wealthiest men in Italy as a result of this extra business venture. At the time, he also possessed a Mercedes SL300, a Jaguar, and a Ferrari, among other exotic vehicles, and his passion for fast automobiles became well known. Ferrari was one of the few companies that made the best sports car in the 1960s, and Ferrari had a big brand name. Lamborghini was fond of the Ferrari, but was not completely satisfied with it, so he decided to make several suggestions to Enzo Ferrari, including design changes that could help him improve his luxurious Ferraris. Due to this pride, Enzo Ferrari's answer to Lamborghini's advice was not only insulting to him, but also said, "The fault is not in the car, but in the person who drives it. It is better to focus on your tractor business than pay attention to his cars." That day, Ferruccio went home determined to prove what he was capable of. Many called his conquests crazy and believed he would squander his fortune. Still, Ferruccio forged ahead and started a new company under his name, Lamborghini. He hired 3 of Ferrari's ex-employees and bought a large plot of land to build a factory. In just 9 months, Ferruccio completed his first sports car, featuring his astrological sign as the emblem, the Lamborghini 350 GT, with the help of young engineer Paolo Stanzani. It was considered a technical masterpiece and included a V12 engine, 5-speed transmission, 4-wheel disc brakes, and 4-wheel independent suspension. It was unveiled for the first time at the Turin Motor Show and praised by customers and critics. Ferruccio proved to Enzo and his doubters that he wasn't just a farmer but also a mechanical genius capable of building superior cars. Ferruccio and Clelia Monti had a son, Antonio Lamborghini, also called Tonino. Unfortunately, Clelia died giving birth. She was buried in the family grave, and later on Ferruccio remarried, this time with Annetta Borgatti. But this second marriage didn't last either. Ferruccio divorced her and married a third time. Patrizia, Ferruccio's daughter, was born to Maria Teresa Cain. His son Tonino moved to Japan and started a few shops selling designer clothing under the Lamborghini name. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse, and after a series of bad deals with the tractor factory combined with the economic unrest in Italy, Ferruccio decided to sell his interest in most of his companies during the 70s and retire at his estate near Perugia, further south in Italy, where he began producing wine, known as the Blood of the Miura, and 1966 brought the 400 GT and the Miura P400. The Miura was especially notable for establishing the rear mid-engine layout as the standard for all high-performance cars of the era, a standard that is still in use today. It was kept a secret from Ferruccio since he was against the idea of building race cars. From then on, Lamborghini Trattori continued its successful streak and debuted more celebrated models: the Espada, the Oslero, the Jarama, the Iracco, and the Countach. The Countach was said to be the most written about car in history. Several years before, Ferruccio's success came to a halt after facing a series of events beyond his control. A deal to supply Bolivia with 5,000 tractors was cancelled after the country faced a coup. Ferruccio's loss in selling his tractor company and 51% of his Lamborghini shares. Later, the global stock market experienced a dramatic crash, and the OAPEC started an oil embargo. It led to increased fuel prices and threw the automotive industry into a crisis. Nonetheless, Ferruccio chose to retire early and sold the remaining 49% of his Lamborghini shares. But he did keep the heating company that he owned and give it to his son, Tonino Lamborghini. Later, Tonino pivots towards building a successful fashion and luxury business under the family name. Meanwhile, the new owner of automobiles, Lamborghini, tried to revive its brand but failed. Afterwards, the company was forced into liquidation. An Italian government sold Lamborghini for $3 million to the Memron brothers, two French entrepreneurs who owned huge sugar cane plantations and flour mills in Africa. The brothers were ambitious and wanted to renovate all Lamborghini facilities and assemble a new team of engineers, but they quickly ran over budget and ended up selling the company. In 1987, Lamborghini went into the hands of Chrysler, which wanted to import the luxury car brand into the United States but failed to make a profit. They consequently sold the business to an Indonesian corporation. The brand was indeed partially restored by them, and in 1996, Lamborghini turned a meager $120,000 profit. They did better with sales, but it wasn't enough to survive the Asian financial crisis. This time, the buyer was Ferdinand Piëch of Volkswagen, who had also purchased Bentley and Bugatti the same year. Lamborghini was able to meet the challenges of the 21st century and take back its place in the market. 2015 marked the best year in the company's history, as their sales jumped from just over 2,530 cars to 3,245. With the release of the Gallardo, Huracan, and Urus SUV concepts, sales jumped across the world. Especially in the US in 2019, Lamborghini reported record sales and is now valued at $11 billion. This is the story of how a farmer and prisoner of war turned his tractor business into a sports car empire. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend checking out our previous video about the history of Netflix, from their origin as a DVD mailing service to their emergence as the world's movie streaming platform of choice. Thanks a lot for watching, and as usual, be smart. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you next time.